Now, he goes on, this is closing up in Smyrna. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says into the churches. So the question is, folks, what in the world does that mean? What does he who has an ear? Everybody have ears. As a matter of fact, I got two. See? Two ears. What does that mean? Does it mean that I'm not deaf? No, friend. Basically, what it means is transformation from a slave of sin to a slave of righteousness. This, my friend, is the regeneration of the Spirit of God, of the sinner. And you find it in Romans. Knowing this, it is known, it is a fact from God. Not a fact from Kevin, not a fact from Paul. It is a fact from God. This is known. Knowing this, that what the believers, old human spirit, something happened to him. What happened to him? That rascal was crucified. He died. The soul that sinned must die. But did he just drop dead and die? No, he died with someone. With who? With the only Savior God provided. That the body of sin, the body of sin happens to be this fellow right here, this old man. What happened to it? Might be done away with. Done away with? Yes. Annihilated. Completely gone. Without any possibility of ever coming back. That we should no longer be what? Slaves of sin. Are you still a slave? Yes, but you're somebody else's slave. You're not the slave of sin anymore. That's why a believer can put away certain sins while the unbeliever can't. He has the power to do it through the Spirit. For he, who's the he? Us. This hour. The he who done what? Who has died. This is the second time in 2 verses God said you died. You're free from the power of sin. But God be think that though you were a slave of sin, yet you obeyed from the heart. How did you do that? You did that because you were crucified and came to life. No one obeys while they're dead. You have to be raised from the dead. To the doctrine which was delivered to you. What's that? That's the gospel. That's what was delivered to you. Old Testament, New Testament, doesn't matter. The same gospel was preached to everybody. And having been set free, you have became, listen, do you ever stop being a slave? No, you don't stop being a slave. You just go from one kingdom to the other. In one kingdom, there's nothing but sin. In the other kingdom, there's nothing but righteousness. You are either in the kingdom of sin today, right now, or you are in the kingdom of righteousness. You need to know which one you're in. For when you were slaves to sin, you were free in regard to producing anything that is right. While you are in this kingdom right here, slaves of sin, and it doesn't make a difference what your behavior is. What he's saying is, if you are here, there's 2 kingdoms, friends, right? If you are here in the kingdom of sin, and then there's this kingdom over here of righteousness. If you are sitting right here, and just because there are people worse than you, does that the people down here are much worse than you, does that take you out of this kingdom? Absolutely not. You're just a better sinner than the others, a more moral sinner than the others. Are you still an unforgiven sinner? Yes, you are. What's going to happen to you then? You're going to get cast into the lake of fire. You and your morality. So God says, anyone who's in here, they have God's righteousness, and that's all they need. All right. But now, you were free from being able to produce anything that's right in God's eyes. What fruit did you have then? Nothing. Of the things you have are now ashamed. For the end of those things is death. So anything that's produced by the sinner before salvation, what can it produce according to God? Death. That's all it can produce. Can it produce something that pleases God? Absolutely not. For the end of those things is death. That's it. That's all it can produce. But now, having been set free from sin and having become slaves of God, you have your fruit to holiness and to the end everlasting life. You see the big change, friends, from one kingdom to the other? So it has nothing to do with the physical it. It is essentially the drawing of the sinner by God the Father. Listen to this. No one, Jesus speaking, no one, can anyone come to Jesus on their own? Can they do it, friends? Can I just preach some and teach some wonderful flowery message and have all kinds of people coming? No, because no one can come to Jesus unless. Now he's going to tell you how people can come. How, Lord? The Father who sent me must draw this sinner. So who's responsible for anybody being saved? The Father who draws them. And I will raise him up at the last day. He said, therefore I've said to you that no one, says it again, no one can come to me unless it has been granted to him by my Father. You just can't make up your mind. You will never make up your mind. You will always choose evil if God don't step in and cause you to select good.